only. I call the public hearing to open. Does any member of the public wish to speak on this item? I see James Clow.
Good evening, Council. Can you all hear me all right?
Yes.
All right. Good evening, Bremerton City Council. My name is James Clough. I am representing the Kitsap County Association of Realtors as their Government Affairs Director. I'm speaking in support of amending the municipal code regarding the multifamily property tax exemption. Kitsap County is struggling to provide affordable housing, a root cause of the lack of housing inventory. We must incentivize the construction of more affordable and dense housing units to accommodate for the incredible growth that Bremerton is experiencing. This tax exemption will aid with constructing multiple multifamily housing, open doors for more development, and help address the rising cost of housing. I welcome these changes and believe that they will have a positive impact for Bremerton. Thank you for allowing public comment on this issue. I ask that you pass this amendment to the municipal code. Let's help make living in Bremerton a more attainable goal. And thank you very much for taking my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Clough. Next, Jane Rybalowski.
Hello, Council and Mayor and staff. I can't tell you how thrilled I am that this is finally coming up for a public discussion. As anybody who's been on the council for more than a year or two knows, I have spoken about this in public comments for years, hoping that we could modify this program. First off, I've sent you multiple emails and copied you on the emails that I sent staff asking questions. One thing that was stated today, though, I disagree with, when community development asserted that no one pays the taxes that have not been collected. According to the email that I forwarded you from the county tax assessor's office, where she put together how much the taxes would have been for the 5 existing properties that currently fall under the MFTE program. She gave us all the levy point, but of course, if those properties were on the tax roll, the levy percentage would be lower for everybody. So the services that I'm taxed for would be lower for me and for every other taxpayer in Bremerton if we didn't have this program. That being said, I'm fully supportive of a program that is modified for just lower income families and single people. It's impossible for somebody who graduated from Bremerton High School 5 years ago to even rent a property unless they went into the military or possibly the shipyard if they started right out of high school. We're running away all of the kids who grew up here and that we supported. Also, I'd like to address this theory that if you increase the housing properties, that suddenly rents are going to be lower. That is not going to happen. I've heard it from every developer in the world. Politicians repeat it, and even some staff in all municipalities repeat that. I've never found a place that has actually happened. I look forward to somebody on council giving me the name of any municipality that by increasing all the stock, no matter how expensive, that it's going to lower it for the average person. So please, please, please get rid of the luxury tax abatement and just do it for lower income families in Bremerton. Our kids are all having to move away because of this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, Dan Herron.
Good evening, Council. My name is Dan Herron. I'm a resident of Bremerton. I've been here since 2014. In that time, I've worked in education and social services, and my experience that so many people cannot afford housing. It's just too expensive. I strongly support the changes in the code to make affordable housing more available for more folks. Thank you very much.
All right, does any other member of the public wish to comment on this item? Mr. Jeff Campbell.
Thanks. I still can't get that hand thing down. But yeah, I think if I understand the changes are that we're removing market rate housing from receiving the benefits of the tax break here. And that, of course, that makes perfect sense. Developers do not create affordable housing, communities do. And I don't need to repeat what the last speaker said. That part sounds good. What I'm worried about is that this is all you guys are going to talk about with regards to affordable housing in Bremerton. Please tell me this isn't all you got, because we need a lot more. You need to look at doing some housing, some community land grants. I don't know, something. There are options out there. This is not going to work. The developers have all told you they're not interested in building affordable housing. It doesn't matter how, they'll take the money. Sure, who wouldn't? I would. So please get serious about affordable housing. These changes look pretty reasonable, I guess. Thank you.
Thank you. Up next, we have someone from Sound West Group. Please state your name.
Hi, this is Marianne Weber. Thanks for taking my time. I am a developer and I'm also a local Bremerton citizen. I don't disagree. We do have a terrible affordability crisis in our city. And we have this conversation quite often. How do you solve it? Well, one way to help solve it is to bring more supply, because we have affordability issues, but we also have a housing shortage. Paying third-party market experts who have absolutely nothing to do with us other than we're their client to do a study. We know that there is a huge demand, latent demand for Bremerton. They're saying over the next 5 years, we have an anticipated 2,464 units of demand that we need for our county. That's quite a few units to, and they take into consideration what's in the pipeline and what is already being built. So that's quite a bit of housing of all levels. That is from affordable all the way up to condos. What's interesting when we talk about this is we're saying, do we shift the focus from new construction to affordable? And I wonder why it can't be both. I think we need to come up with a plan that helps all housing types, because there's a need for all housing. But we also are measuring different types of construction that has different types of costs. When you're talking about some of the examples earlier in the presentation, you're talking about woody walk-up 3-story type 5 construction, which is built out of wood, surface level parking, sprawl, several buildings, and no elevators. Whereas I can't see that right in downtown Bremerton. Downtown Bremerton is where you're going to start seeing in the designated centers your 5-story, your type 5 wood construction, over type 2 or 3 concrete. You're going to have your parking in a garage because you're maximizing the footprint and you're not sprawling, which one of the, Growth Management Act goals is to preserve, our neighborhoods and to preserve nature. It's really hard to just take the basic numbers from tonight's presentation and compare it, because a woody walk-up with no elevator and surface level parking is significantly cheaper to build than going vertical, condensing that sprawl, and having to figure out how to park it. Our biggest limitation when you even look at a project is parking first and foremost. Number one, stop. And that goes all the way down to affordability. That goes to student housing. I do have a project that we are going to be applying for the MFTE program. And honestly, when we first priced it out, it worked without the MFTE. In 2 years, with what's happened in construction, it has added $10 million to its construction cost, and it no longer works. The MFTE is what is kind of putting it into that thread. And with us value engineering it and doing what we can to make it pencil just to provide more housing for the area. So if we do not qualify for that, that project probably will not go forward, because I don't know how else we're going to be able to make it work because of construction prices. We used to be able to build a housing unit for $250,000, and now you're looking at over $400,000 a unit. So I'm not arguing whether or not the MFTE program should get rid of the 8-year. I'm just advocating more as a citizen tonight that we consider that it's a lot more complex than just looking at apartments and what they're charging. You need to look at how much it costs. What are the parking requirements? Is it surface level versus a parking garage? Because surface level, you're looking at $10,000, $15,000 a parking stall. Surface, when you put it into a garage, you're looking at $60,000 a stall. It's very expensive. So I just implore that the council to just look at more than just basic unit count and rates. The other thing I'll say is the 12-year can work. I've talked to a couple of developers that's on the Kitsap Building Association, and where they're making it work is smaller projects with small units with surface level parking and no elevator. That's where that 12-year actually does work. It's when you get into the various unit types of studio all the way up to 2-bedroom, and you, instead of sprawling into the several buildings, you're going vertical. So now you have to figure out your parking. That's where the 12-year becomes difficult. So I just want you guys to take that into consideration when you're making suggestions on how to tweak the program that's offered. And I appreciate everybody's time. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Weber. Is there anybody else for a public comment on this item? All right, one last time. Is there anyone else for public comment on this item? Seeing none, I will close the public hearing. Thank you.